Balen Shah is one of the most unexpected political figures in modern Nepali history. His rise did not come from party structures, political families, or long years inside government institutions. Instead, it came from outside the system at a time when public frustration with traditional politics had reached a breaking point. To understand Balen Shah is to understand a deeper shift happening in Nepal's political culture. Before entering politics, Balen Shah was known to many as a rapper and spoken-word artist. His music reflected anger, social critique, and the emotional state of a generation that felt ignored by those in power. At the same time, he was academically trained as a structural engineer, educated in a field grounded in logic, rules, and precision. This unusual combination of art and engineering would later define his political personality: direct, expressive, and uncompromising. For years, politics in Nepal appeared closed to outsiders. Party loyalty, internal hierarchies, and political networks determined who could realistically compete. Independent candidates rarely posed serious threats to established parties. This belief shaped public expectations until Balen Shah entered the Kathmandu metropolitan city mayoral race. When Balen Shah announced his candidacy as an independent, many observers dismissed it as symbolic. Lacking party machinery, financial backing, and organizational reach, his chances were widely questioned. Yet his campaign tapped into something deeper than traditional political strategy. He spoke directly to citizens, particularly urban youth, using clear language rather than slogans. His campaign focused less on ideology and more on governance. He talked about enforcing rules, managing urban chaos, and holding institutions accountable. Instead of promising large, abstract visions, he emphasized discipline, systems, and action. For voters tired of repeated promises, this approach felt different and refreshing. Social media played a critical role in his rise. Balen Shah used platforms not just to campaign, but to communicate his thinking openly. His posts were blunt, sometimes emotional, and often confrontational. While this alienated some voters, it created a sense of authenticity for others. Supporters felt they were seeing a real person, not a scripted politician. The election result shocked Nepal's political establishment. Balen Shah defeated candidates backed by major parties and became mayor of Kathmandu. His victory signaled more than a personal win. It revealed a fracture in traditional political dominance, especially in urban centers. It proved that public dissatisfaction could translate into electoral power. Once in office, expectations were high. Supporters anticipated swift change. Critics predicted failure. Balen Shah wasted little time in asserting his authority. One of his earliest and most controversial actions was the removal of illegal structures and enforcement of municipal regulations. Areas long ignored by authorities were suddenly under scrutiny. These actions were praised by many as long overdue. Citizens who had grown accustomed to selective enforcement saw, perhaps for the first time, rules being applied consistently. For them, Balen Shah represented decisive leaderships, someone willing to act rather than negotiate endlessly. At the same time, his methods sparked serious debate. Critics argued that enforcement without sufficient consultation risked alienating communities and undermining democratic processes. Some business owners, residents, and political figures accused him of acting unilaterally, bypassing dialogue in favor of speed. This tension highlights a central question in Balen Shah's case study: the balance between strong leadership and institutional governance. In a system often criticized for inefficiency, decisive action can feel revolutionary. But long-term governance depends on processes, not personalities. Balen Shah's communication style further distinguishes him from traditional politicians. He frequently uses social media to issue warnings, express frustration, and announce decisions. This direct line to the public bypasses traditional media and bureaucratic channels. Supporters see this as transparency. Critics see it as impulsive and confrontational. From a governance perspective, his leadership style reflects performance-based legitimacy. His authority comes not from party backing, but from visible action. This model resonates strongly with younger generations who prioritize results over rhetoric and symbolism. However, this model also carries risks. Individual-driven governance can struggle when faced with legal constraints, bureaucratic resistance, and political pushback. Balen Shah's tenure has exposed how difficult reform can be when institutions are weak or resistant to change. Conflicts between the Kathmandu metropolitan city and higher levels of government have highlighted structural limitations, jurisdictional ambiguities, legal challenges, and administrative delays often slow or block initiatives. These obstacles demonstrate that even strong leadership cannot easily overcome systemic complexity. Balen Shah's relationship with political parties remains tense. As an independent, he does not benefit from parliamentary protection or party negotiation mechanisms. This independence gives him freedom, but also isolation. Every decision places him directly in the public spotlight with little institutional buffer. Despite controversy, Balen Shah has undeniably reshaped political discourse in Nepal. He has forced conversations about accountability, rule enforcement, and urban governance into the mainstream. Traditional parties, once comfortable with gradualism, now face pressure to demonstrate visible results. His influence extends beyond Kathmandu. Across the country, citizens discuss whether similar leadership is possible elsewhere. Young people, in particular, view Balen Shah as proof that politics does not have to follow a predetermined path. This psychological shift may be one of his most lasting impacts. Yet, his case also raises critical questions about sustainability. Can this style of leadership endure over time? Can systems be institutionalized, or will progress depend on individual energy? And what happens when public expectations grow faster than structural capacity? Balen Shah's critics argue that governance requires consensus, patience, and collaboration. They warn that confrontation may produce short-term results, but long-term instability. Supporters countered that without disruption, entrenched inefficiencies will never change. This debate reflects a broader dilemma within Nepal's democracy. After years of political transition, citizens demand both stability and reform. They want leaders who act decisively but also respect process. Balancing these demands is one of the greatest challenges facing contemporary Nepali politics. Balen Shah exists at the center of this tension. He embodies both hope and risk. His rise represents public desire for accountability, but also exposes how fragile institutions remain. His success depends not only on his intentions, but on whether systems evolve alongside leadership. As a case study, Balen Shah demonstrates how non-traditional backgrounds can redefine political legitimacy. He shows that credibility can be built through action rather than affiliation. But he also illustrates the limits of individual reform in a system designed for compromise and continuity. Looking ahead, the long-term significance of Balen Shah will depend on outcomes rather than symbolism. Will his initiatives survive beyond his tenure? Will institutions strengthen as a result of his pressure? Or will momentum fade once public attention shifts? In the broader context of Nepal's democratic journey, Balen Shah represents a transitional figure. He challenges norms, disrupts expectations, and forces reflection. Whether he marks the beginning of a new political culture or remains an exception is still unknown. Balen Shah is not simply a mayor, a rapper, or an engineer. He is a political experiment unfolding in real time. His story reveals both the potential and the limitations of leadership in a democracy still finding its balance. As Nepal continues to search for effective governance, figures like Balen Shah serve as mirrors reflecting public frustration, ambition, and hope. His legacy will ultimately be measured not by controversy, but by whether his actions contribute to stronger systems rather than stronger personalities. In the end, Balen Shah's story is not just about one man. It is about a society questioning what leadership should look like and whether democracy can adapt to meet rising expectations. The answer is still being written.